Prop 36 would roll back changes to criminal laws in California that were made by voters a decade ago. In the year 2014, California voters passed Prop 47, downgrading a bunch of drug and theft crimes from felonies to misdemeanors. Prop 36 would reverse many of those changes. Right now, California laws make it a misdemeanor to steal property worth $950 or less. Under Prop 36, that crime would become a felony if the offender had 2 prior theft convictions.
So opponents to Prop 36 promptly came out and called this bill racist, if this was a racist attempt to harm black and brown people.
36! No 36! Want to reverse us back to those days where they could lock up as many black and brown people as possible.
This is the main part I wanted to point out, because this is the shit that's been bugging me since it fucking really took off and started, especially around 2016-ish. The irony, the sheer intense irony of all of these fucking anti-racist people, especially black people ironically, that are always talking about literally what that older guy said, is so that they can lock up as many black and brown people as possible, which is literally both direct and indirect admission that you are actually saying that you really believe and feel that it is almost entirely race-based, so black people and Hispanics that are doing shoplifting and that are thieving, that are stealing from people, that are committing theft, because shoplifting is theft. How fucking incredibly racist and prejudiced is that of a statement? It's fucking insane how they either do not see it, they genuinely do not see how they're being even more racist than the people they claim are being intensely racist by supporting these repeals, by not supporting Black Lives Matter or whatever else, by calling their bullshit out. They are being even more incredibly racist. It's always the DEI loving motherfuckers who are the most intensely prejudiced and racist people out there and sexist. It's fucking insane. And it doesn't matter if you took a mirror and smashed it over their face, they'd still scream, no, it's not true. You're lying about me. This isn't true. This is not what I said. It's literally what you're saying. You're literally arguing in the favor of the belief that some people hold that it's almost entirely black people and Hispanics that do almost all the thefts in this country. You're literally saying that by making the argument that this repeal to criminalize and make back into felonies and actually arrestable offenses, shoplifting thefts and hard drug possession. You're literally, that's what that argument does, is it argues in favor of those who believe that it is really just black people and maybe Hispanics who commit thefts and who do hard drugs and who try to sell people and get people addicted to hard drugs. That are dealers. That's literally what that does. Because if you took somebody who looks like a fucking skinhead just by birthright, apparently, like myself, and I was up there on that podium and I said the same shit he did, every single one of those people, including that same man, would tell me that I was being incredibly racist and I was a white supremacist and I was a Nazi and all these other things. They would absolutely do that because they know, they're not dumb enough to not know what they're really saying, what they're really arguing, what it really does, which is that it says, yeah, we are the ones who thieve. We are the ones who steal. We are the ones who sell, deal, and do the drugs, the hardest drugs, like meth and cocaine and fucking... And the irony is that blow is literally the fucking most cliche drug, hard drug, street drug, that black people do, that are known for. Second most is heroin. It's been decades, longer than I've been alive, like at least good 50 years, if not longer. It's been a trope in Hollywood as a joke, including among other black actors like Dave Chappelle, especially the crack cocaine or just the cocaine in general, the blow. It's ridiculous that they emphasize cocaine. You're arguing in favor of that cliche, of that prejudice cliche, of the intense belief that it's only really non-whites who do thefts and do hard drugs. It's just the most insane thing to me that they, again, are either too stupid and unwilling to see reality to know that that's what they're actually saying and what they're favoring by that argument, or that they are, and this is more likely, that they're just that willfully blind to reality, that they know it deep down inside, because they're not that fucking dumb, they're not that stupid, they know, but they want to be willfully blind like the average American always does, because it's too uncomfortable of a fact and a reality to admit to yourself, let alone to anybody else. And so you actively avoid it and deny, no matter what, and get livid about it and get so incredibly hyper defensive and angry at anybody who suggests otherwise, because it makes you too intensely uncomfortable, because you'd have to admit something you hate to yourself is factually correct and true and reality. And that's really what it probably is that they're just pulling wool over their eyes, intentionally being blind to reality, because they don't want to acknowledge what they already know. There's nothing more racist than an anti-racist. There's nothing more racist and sexist and prejudiced than a DEI loving, supporting person. I'm sorry, there just isn't. Actually, I'm not sorry for that, because I'm just stating a fact. Like, it's wild, the mental gymnastics they go through. It's actually basically the same as any religious group. Like the Jehovah's Witnesses, obviously. On this channel, you guys are going to be most familiar with that. The latest video, in fact, from the whole 2024 annual meeting of theirs, that is 100% a great example, because if you look at it through a lot of the comments, people are talking about how they do a lot of mental gymnastics or related things. Exactly. Cognitive dissonance, same shit. That's exactly what the average American does to almost anything that they do not want to admit, and that's what these people in the DEI world and the anti-racist world do all the time, 24/7, 365. Cognitive dissonance and intensive, aggressive insistence on pulling the wool over their eyes and being willfully blind to reality. There's nothing more racist than an anti-racist.